Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam and dear viewers, I welcome you once again to our journey on the subject of inheritance and in Islam. Last time we expatiated on the provisions contained in the Holy Quran, that is from Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4 of the Holy Quran, verses 11, 12, and 176. And then we promised that we are going to be looking at the standard male heirs and also standard female heirs and list of residuaries in the next lesson, which is now. So before then, we want to also look at, highlight, emphasize some of the other hadiths on inheritance apart from the hadith of Ibn Abbas, which are also germane to treating the cases of inheritance. The five of them, I'll start from with the first one, which has to do with when sister exists with daughter. Zayd ibn Thabit ruled that when there are surviving sisters and daughters, the sister should be treated as a sober, that is as residuary, and should receive only the remainder. This is reported in Sunan al-Darimi. And then also the case of the second hadith, when the granddaughter exists with a daughter and sister, the daughter is given her full half share. The one daughter is given a half share, and then 1/6 goes to the son's daughter, that is the granddaughter, and then the rest is for the sister. This is according to the narration of Huzail ibn Shurabil regarding the verdict of Ibn Mas'ud, in line with what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did. This is reported in Sahih al-Bukhari. And then the third hadith, which is also germane, where Ibn Abbas narrates that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave to the grandmother 1/6. So this is reported in Ibn Majah. Similarly, the hadith of Ibn Buraida, that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam appointed a sixth to a grandmother if no mother is left to inherit before her, reported in Sunan Abi Dawud. So also the case of grandfather, Mark ibn Yasser narrates that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave to the grandfather amongst us 1/6. This is also reported in Ibn Majah. And then a case of where the fifth hadith, a case of where both parents of the deceased and then a surviving spouse exist. Zayd ibn Thabit ruled in the case of a woman who died and left behind her husband and her parents. He gave the husband 1/2 of the tarika and the mother 1/3 of the remainder. That is the balance. So these are the cases that hadiths dealing with some of the cases that were treated in the past by our predecessors. That is the way they used to handle inheritance cases. So inshallah, we'll now go into our list of standard heirs for male and female, and then residuaries. The list of residuaries. So we start with a quick recap that the fixed shares are given to their owners first. In the case of inheritance, they are known as Zawil Furud. And then after that, we come to the residue is given to the closest male relative, as earlier mentioned, which is known as the residuaries or asoba. And then in the absence of fixed sharers and residuaries, then we consider normally non-inheriting relatives, which are called distant children, Zawil Arham. So they only inherit where fixed sharers and residuaries are absent. So these non-inheriting relatives, distant children, are divided into 4 classes. The upper class cuts off the lower class, where they are divided into 4 classes: the descendants of the deceased, and then we have ascendants of the deceased, and then we have descendants of parents, and then descendants of immediate grandparents. And in a case where the deceased have no relative at all, whether close or distant relative, and or some inheritance remain, it goes to Betul Mal. That is, they also can Betul Mal can also inherit. So we can now go to list of potential heirs or standard heirs for males and females of the deceased. In the list, we have the son. For males, we have the son, followed by son's son or grandson of the deceased, and then further grandsons by male lineage. Then we have father, number 3 as father, then father's father or further forefathers by male lineage. That this father's father, which grandfather is in case as a substitute heir in case of the absence, in case of absence of a father. And then followed by number 5, we have a full brother of the deceased, and also is also a potential heir. And then we have paternal brother in place of a substitute for full brother in his absence. And then also the maternal brother is a male heir, a potential male heir. And then we also have full brother's son. This is just an expanded list of that 6 closest male relatives to the deceased we mentioned earlier. So, and then we have a full brother's son, which is a nephew, and then paternal brother's son, that's they are only related to the father's side. And then we have full paternal uncle, and then paternal uncle, that is father's paternal brother. Then we have full paternal uncle's son, and then further cousins by male lineage. And then we have paternal uncle's son and further cousins by male lineage. And then we have husband, who is not a blood relation. And then we have male emancipator of a slave, which is no longer applicable these days. So we have, for the female heirs, we have daughter, son's daughter or granddaughter, as it can be called. And then we have uh, maternal, we have mother as the third, and then maternal grandmother and greater grandmothers by female lineage. Then we have paternal grandmother and greater grandmothers by female lineage. Then we have paternal great grandmother, that is father's mom. We can picture it. And greater grandmothers by female lineage. And then we have full sister also as a female heir, potential female heir. We have paternal sister, then maternal sister, and then wife, who is also not a blood relation. And then we have female emancipator of a slave, which is also no longer applicable. I'm saying wife and husband, they are not blood relation because when we come to case of return, return is normally not made, that is after the fixed shares are given to their owners and no residuaries to take the residue, we don't return to the spouses. So that is why I'm saying they are not blood relation here. So these are the list of potential heir or standard heirs, both for male and female, both for male heirs and female heirs of the deceased. And then we now proceed to list of residuaries. If you look at the list of residuaries, it's just closely related to that of male heirs. And in case where they exist with females of the same degree of relationship to the deceased, the share ratio 2:1. So the list starts with a son, one or more of them, and if are of the same degree, the same class, the same gender, they share equally. Like the son, if it's more than one son, they will share equally whatever is the residue. And then when the son exists with, or one or more sons exist with daughters or daughter, they share ratio 2:1. The son taking a double share, that is what it means. And then we have grandson with granddaughter of equal degree of relationship to the deceased also coming as a residuary, where the son and then granddaughter exist and the daughter exists. Son exists, grandson will not come in. Where the son exists, grandson will not inherit. And where the daughter exists, the granddaughter will not inherit. Then we have also as in the list of residuary father, the father has a peculiar advantage of inheriting in two capacities, as a fixed sharer and also as a residuary. Then we have paternal grandfather, who is a substitute heir for father. He only inherits in the absence of a father. Then we have real brothers and real sisters also as residuaries. Then consanguine brothers and consanguine sisters, call them paternal brother and paternal sister. So we have real sister with daughter or granddaughter. In this case, the real sister becomes a residuary. And then also in place of real sister, if consanguine sister exists with this daughter and granddaughter, it also becomes a residuary in the absence of a real sister. Then we have real brother's son, also real brother's son, a nephew is a residuary, a potential residuary, a residuary, yes. And then we have consanguine, instead of a real full brother's son, we can have paternal brother's son, also known as a consanguine brother's son, in the list of residuaries. Then we have, after that, we have a full paternal uncle, or call it a real paternal uncle. Then paternal uncle, or call it a consanguine paternal uncle, also as number 13. And then we have real paternal uncle's son, which is a cousin. That is a cousin. Also, in place of a full paternal uncle's son, cousin, we can have paternal uncle's son, a cousin from the father's side, who's also a residuary here. So we have a whole list of 15 residuaries here. So these are the list of residuaries we'll be working with when we'll be seeing as we treat cases of inheritance. Inshallah, we want to stop here. And then next, we'll be dealing with each individual heir and the circumstances they may find themselves, and then what their entitlement in such cases are. So inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spare our lives till then and beyond. So we'll be looking at each heir, on its own, on his or her own. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamu ala al-mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.